Hence! Home, you idle creatures! Get you home! Is this a holiday? What? Know you not, being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession? Speak! What trade art thou?
Where is thy leather apron and thy rule? What dost thou with thy best apparel on? You, sir, what trade are you?
Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler.
But what trade art thou? Answer me directly.
A trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed a mender of bad souls.
What trade, thou knave? Thou naughty knave, what trade?
Nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me. Yet if you be out, sir, I can mend you.
What meanest thou by that? Mend me, you saucy fellow?
Why, sir, cobble you.
Thou art a cobbler, art thou?
Truly, sir. All that I live by is with the all. I meddle with no tradesmen's matters, nor women's matters, but with all. I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. When they are in great danger, I recover them. As proper men as ever trod upon neat's leather have gone upon my handiwork.
But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome to grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels? You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Knew you not Pompey? Many a time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Begone, run to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Go. Go, good countrymen, and for this fault, assemble all the poor men of your sort. Draw them to Tiber banks, and weep your tears into the channel, so the lowest stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all. See whether their basest metal be not moved. They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. Go you down that way towards the Capitol. This way will I disrobe the images, if you do find them decked with ceremonies.
May we do so? You know it is the feast of Lupercal.
It is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. So do you too, where you perceive them thick. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly in ordinary pitch, who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness. Vox populi, vox Dei! Vox populi, vox Dei! Vox populi, vox Dei!
Victory!
Calpurnia!
Salutania!
Peace ho! Caesar speaks.
Calpurnia!
Here, my lord.
Stand you directly in Antonius's way when he doth run the course? Antonius!
Caesar, my lord.
Forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia, for our elders say, the baron touched in this holy chase. Shake off their sterile curse.
I shall remember. When Caesar says, do this, it is performed.
Set on and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar!
Ha! Who calls?
Bid every noise be still. Peace yet again.
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than music. Cry, Caesar! Speak. Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March.
What man is that?
Soothsayer, bid you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me. Let me see his face.
Hello, come from the throng. Look upon Caesar.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over a friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which give some soil perhaps to my behaviors. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number Cassius be you one.
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius? For the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things.
'Tis just, and it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such ears as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus, and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? You would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me.
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover of yourself, that of yourself which you yet not know of. And be not jealous on me, good Brutus. If you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard and after scandal them, then hold me dangerous.
What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Hi. Do you fear it? Then I must think you would not have it so.
I would not, said Cassius. Yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look upon both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me as I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
Well, honor is the subject of my story. For once upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder, the old Anchises bear from the waves of Tiber, did I, the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god? And Cassius is a wretched creature, and must bend his body, if Caesar carelessly, but not on him. Ye gods, it doth amaze me. A man of such feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone.
Another general shout. I do believe these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings, Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar that... Why should that name be sounded more than yours? When went there by an age since the great flood, but by its famed with more than one man? Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say that there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep him in his state in Rome as easily as a king.
What you said, I will consider. What you have to say, patience here, and find a time both to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us.
Then I am glad my weak words have struck but this much show of fire from Brutus.
The game's done, and Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath proceeded worthy to note today.
I will do so. But look you, Cassius, the angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like chidden train. Calpurnia's cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferret and such fiery eyes as we have seen him in the Capitol being crossed in conference by some senators.
Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonius,
Caesar?
let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. Yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He is not dangerous. He is a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter, but I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the men I should avoid. So soon as the spare Cassius, he reads much, he is a great observer, and he looks quiet through the deeds of men. He loves no plays, as thou dost, Antony. He hears no music. Seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort, as if mocked himself and scorned his spirit, that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear. For always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is death, and tell me truly what thou thinkest of him.
Pulled me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
Casca, tell us what hath chanced today, that Caesar looks so sad.
Why? You were with him, were you not?
I should not then ask Casca what has chanced.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand, and then the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, marry, was't. And he put it by thrice, every time gentler than other. And at every putting by, mine honest neighbors shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, yet 'twas not a crown neither, 'twas one of those coronets. And, as I told you, he put it by once. But for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again. Then he put it by again, but to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by, and still as he refused it, the rabblement hooted and clapped their chapped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that it had almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh, for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
Soft, I pray you. What? Did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace and foamed at mouth and was speechless.
'Tis very like. He hath a failing sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not, but you and I and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down. If the Tagrag people did not clap and hiss him, according as he pleased and displeased them, as they used to do the players at the theater, I am no true man.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Marry, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me ope his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. And had I been a man of any occupation, if I would not have taken him at a word, I would I might go to hell among the rogues. And so he fell. When he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity.
And after all that, he came thus sad away.
Aye,
Did Cicero say anything?
aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I'll tell you that I'll ne'er look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news too. Marcellus and Flavius, for pulling scarfs off Caesar's image, are put to silence. Fare you well. There was more foolery yet, if I could remember it.
Will you sup with me tonight, Casca?
No, I am promised forth.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, if I be alive and your mind hold and your dinner worth the eating.
Good. I will expect you.
Do so. Farewell, both.
What a blunt fellow this has grown to be. He was quick mettle when he went to school.
So is he now in execution of any bold or noble enterprise. However, he puts on this tardy form. This rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men stomach to digest his words with better appetite.
And so it is. For this time, I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home with you, or if you will, come home to me and I will wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble, yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who so firm that cannot be seduced? I will this night in several hands in at his windows throw, as if they came from several citizens' writings, all tending to be the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him, or worse days endure.
Good evening, Casca. Brought you Caesar home. Why are you breathless, and why stare you so?
Are not you moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction.
Why saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I not since put up my sword. Against the Capitol I met a lion, who glared upon me and went surly by, without annoying me. And there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men in fire walk up and down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night did sit, even at noonday, upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. For I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time, but men may construe things after their fashion. Clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Come Caesar home tomorrow, to Capitol tomorrow?
He doth, for he did bid Antonius send word to you he would be there tomorrow.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
The Roman.
Casca by voice.
Your ear is good, Cassius. What night is this?
Very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens menace so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night, and thus am unembraced, Casca, as you see. Have bared my bosom to the thunderstorm, and when the cross-blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself, even in the aim and very flash of it.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble. The most mighty gods by tokens send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
Oh, you are dull, Casca, and those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want, or else you use not. Now, could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars, as doth the lion in the Capitol? A man, no mightier than thyself or myself, in personal action, yet prodigious grown and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is, for Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors. But woe the while, our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with our mother's spirits.
Indeed, they say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king, and he shall wear his crown by sea and land, in every place save here in Italy.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, ye gods, you tyrants do defeat. If I know this, know all the world besides, that part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf, but he sees that Romans are but sheep. He were no lion, were the Romans not hinds. Those that will haste will make a mighty fire. Begin it with raw straws. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what offal, when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar. But, oh Greece, where hast thou led me? Perhaps I speak this before a willing bondman. Then I know my answer must be made. But I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent.
You speak to Casca, and to such a man that is no fleering telltale. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence. And I do know by this they stay for me in Pompey's porch. For now, this fearful night, there is no stir walking in the streets, and the complexion of the element in favors like the work we have in hand, most bloody, fiery, and most terrible.
Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste.
Oh, 'tis Cinna. I do know him by his gait. He's a friend. Cinna! Where haste you so?
To find out you. Who's that, Metellus Cimber?
No, it is Casca, one incorporate to our attempts. Am I not stayed for, Cinna?
I'm glad on it. What a fearful night is this. There are 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights.
Am I not stayed for? Tell me.
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could, but win the noble Brutus to our party?
Be content, you good Cinna. Take this paper, and look you lay it in the praetor's chair, where Brutus may find it, and throw this in at his window. Set this up with wax upon old Brutus' statue. All this done, repaired to Pompey's porch, where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there?
Oh, but Metellus Cimber, and he's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie, and so bestow the papers as you bade me.
That done, repair to Pompey's theater. Come, Casca, you and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is already ours, and the entire man, upon our next encounter, yields him ours.
Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
In his worth and our great need of him, you have right well conceded. Let us go, for it is after midnight, and ere day we will wake him and be sure of him.
Brutus, thou sleepest, awake, and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc., speak, strike, redress? Brutus, thou sleepest, awake. Such instigations have been often dropped when I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc., thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What, Rome? My ancestor did from the streets of Rome, it's Harkin's drive, when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Oh, Rome, I make thee this promise. If the redress will follow, thou receivest the full petition at the hand of Brutus.
I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour, awake, right. Know I these men that come along with you?
Yes, every man of them, and no man here but honors you. And every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself which every noble Roman bears you. This is Trebonius.
He is welcome hither.
This is Decius Brutus.
He is welcome too.
This Casca, Cinna, and Metellus Cimber.
They are all welcome. Give me your hands, all over, one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the times, abuse. If these motives be weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed. But if these, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards and to steal with valor the melting spirits of women than countrymen. What need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? Swear, priests and cowards and men cautelous, old feeble carrions, and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs. But do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits to think that our cause or our performance did need an oath when every drop of blood that every Roman bears and nobly bears is guilty of a several bastardy if he do break the smallest particle of any promise that he hath passed from him.
But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us.
Oh, name him not. Let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin.
Then leave him out.
Indeed, he is not fit.
Shall no man else be touched, but only Caesar?
Decius, well urged. I think it is not meet. Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a very shrewd contriver, and you know his means, if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Horse will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and hack at the limbs, like wrath and death and envy afterwards. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let us be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. Let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for the hounds. And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage, and after seem to chide them. This shall make our purpose necessary and not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called perjurers, and not murderers.
Yet I fear him, for the engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loved Caesar, all that he can do is to himself. Take thought and die for Caesar. And that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and much company. Peace.
The clock hath stricken 3. 'Tis time to part. But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for his superstitions have grown of late, quite from the main opinion he held once a fantasy of dreams and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of this night, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can oversway him. For he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work, or I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him.
By the 8th hour. Is that the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
The morning comes upon us, Brutus. And friends, disperse yourself, but all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it out as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so, good morrow to you everyone.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to this raw morning.
Nor for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed, and yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, and then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not. But with an angry wafture of your hand gave sign for me to leave, and so I did. Fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it was but an effect of humor, which sometime hath his hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and it cannot work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed on your condition. I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with the cause of your grief.
I am not well in health. That is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so I do, good Portia. Go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What, is Brutus sick, and all he will steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the night and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you, by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love and great vow which upon incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are heavy. And what men tonight have you had resort with you? For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need, if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it expected I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself but as it were in some sort of limitation to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then I should know the secret. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, given myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience, and not my husband's secrets?
Oh, ye gods! Render me worthy of this noble wife. Portia, go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the charactery of my sad brows.
Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, "Help, ho! They murder Caesar." Who's within?
My lord?
Go bid the priests do present sacrifice, and bring me their opinions.
I will, my lord.
What mean you, Caesar? Think you walk forth? You shall not out of the house today.
Caesar shall go forth. The things that threaten me ne'er looked but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, but cites the things we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. Lioness have whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons in right of form, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air, horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided? Whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear seeing that death. A necessary end will come when it will come. What say the augurers?
They would not have you to store forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the beast.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be the beast without a heart. If he should stay at home today for fear, no, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day, and I, the elder and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say you are not well. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say, I am not well, and for thy humor, I will stay at home. Here's Decius. He shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate house.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greetings to the senators and tell them I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arms so far to be afraid to tell graybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statua, which like a fountain with 100 spouts did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands. And these does she apply for warnings and portents, and evils imminent, and on her knee hath begged that I will stay home today.
This dream is all a misinterpreted. It is a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes in which so many smiling Romans bathed signifies that from you, great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctured her stains, relics, and cognizance. This is by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
In this way have you well expounded it.
I have when you have heard what I can say, and know it now. The Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered. For someone to say, break up the Senate till another time, when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams? If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper low, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to our proceeding bids me to tell you this, and reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia? I am ashamed that I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go. What, Brutus? Are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Casca, Cassius Lagerus. Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy as that same ague which hath made you lean. What is the clock?
Caesar, 'tis struck an 8.
I thank you for your pains and courtesy. See, Antony that revels long o' nights is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
So to most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Now Cinna, now Metellus, what, Trebonius? I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me that I may remember you. Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
That every like is not the same. Oh, Caesar, the heart of Brutus yearns to think upon.
Caesar, beware of Brutus, take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca. Have an eye on Cinna. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not, and thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all of these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. Mighty gods defend me. Thy lover, Artemidorus. Here I will stand till Caesar pass along, and as a suitor, I will give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou reads this, O Caesar, thou mayst live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
The Ides of March have come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Hail, Caesar. Read this schedule.
Trebonius doth desire you to overeat at your best leisure. This is his humble suit.
Oh, Caesar, read mine first, for mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar.
What touches us ourselves shall be last served.
Delay not, Caesar. Read it instantly.
What? Is the fellow mad?
Ah, give place. What urge you petitions in the street? Come to the Capitol.
Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him.
Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar shall never turn back, for I will slay myself.
Cassius, be constant.
Trebonius knows his time, for look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar. Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall to beg enfranchisement of Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am as constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and everyone doth shine. But there's but one in all doth hold this place. So in the world 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood, and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one, that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaked of motion, and that I am he. Let me a little show it, even in this, that I was constant, Cimber should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so.
Caesar,
Hence, wilt thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel?
Speak, hands, for me.
Et tu, Brute? Then Caesar fall.
Liberty! Freedom! Tyranny is dead! Run hence, proclaim, cry it about the streets!
Some to the common pulpits and cry out liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement!
People and senators, be not affrighted, fly not. Stand stiff. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius, too.
Fates, we will know your pleasures. That we shall die, we know 'tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Grant that, and then is death a benefit? So are we Caesar's friends, and that have abridged his time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop. Let us bathe our swords in Caesar's blood, up to the elbows, and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons o'er our heads, let's all cry, peace, freedom, liberty.
Stoop then and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown?
How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport that now on Pompey's basis lies along, no worthier than the dust?
So oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty.
What? Shall we forth?
Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts in Rome.
But soft, who comes here? A friend of Antony's?
Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus and I honor him. Say, I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrodden state, with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
The master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him, so please him, come unto this place. He shall be satisfied, and by my honor depart untouched.
I'll fetch him presently.
I know that we shall have him well to friend.
I wish we may. But yet I have a mind that fears him much, and my misgivings still fall shrewdly to the purpose.
But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
Oh, mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords, which made rich with the most noble blood of all this world.
Oh, Antony, beg not your death of us. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands in this our present act, you see we do, yet see you but our hands, in this the bleeding business they have done. Our hearts you see not, they are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome. As fire drives out fire, so pity hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of these new dignities.
Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude, beside themselves with fear. And then we'll deliver you the cause, why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. Gentlemen all. Alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. That I did love thee, Caesar, oh, 'tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death to see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, most noble in the presence of thy corse? Had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, sweeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Oh, pardon me, Julius.
Mark Antony.
Pardon me, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar shall say this. Then in a friend it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked with number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you?
Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends, I am with you all and love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else were this a savage spectacle? Our reasons are so full of good regard that were you Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I seek, and am moreover suitor, that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much people may be moved by that which he will utter?
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. When Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission, and that we are contented Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than do us wrong.
I know not what may fall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not, in your funeral speech, blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission. Else shall you have not any hand at all about this funeral. And you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going after my speech is ended.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men, domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants, quartered with the hands of war, all pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, with Ate by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry, havoc! And let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters, and is coming, and bid me say to you by word of mouth, oh, Caesar.
My heart is big. Get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching. For mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, began to water. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed, and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius yet. Hie hence and tell him so. Yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this corse into the marketplace. There I shall try in my oration how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which thou shalt discourse to young Octavius the state of things. Lend me your hand.
Let us be satisfied.
Then follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, go you into this other street and part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him. And public reasons shall be rendered of Caesar's death.
I will hear Brutus speak.
I will hear Cassius and compare their reasons, and severally we hear them rendered.
The noble Brutus is ascended. Silence.
Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves than that Caesar were dead to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for him have I offended.
None, Brutus.
None.
Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. His glory not extenuated wherein he was worthy, nor his offenses enforced, for which he suffered death. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying. A place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this, I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus!
Brutus!
Live! Bring him with triumph home unto his house.
Give him a statue with his ancestors.
Let him be Caesar.
Caesar's better parts shall be crowned in Brutus. We'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamors.
My countrymen!
Peace! Silence! Brutus!
Peace! Ho!
Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake, stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace his speech tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make.
Stay! Ho! And let us hear Mark Antony.
Let him go up to the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up.
For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you.
What does he say of Brutus?
He says for Brutus' sake, he finds himself beholding to us all.
Twere best he speak no harm of Brutus here. This Caesar was a tyrant.
Nay, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
Peace! Let us hear what Antony can say.
You gentle Romans,
Peace!
Peace, ho!
Let us hear him.
friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus was an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. I come to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him?
He thinks there is much reason in his sayings.
Thou consider rightly, Caesar has had great wrong.
Has he, masters? I fear there will be worse come in his place.
Mark ye his words? He would not take the crown. Therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious. If it be found so, some will dear abide it.
His soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now mark him, he begins again to speak.
But yesterday, the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now he lies there, and none so poor to do him reverence. Oh, masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
The
The
will!
will! The
Yes,
will!
we'll hear Caesar's
We will hear Caesar's will.
Have patience, gentle friends. I must not read it. It is not meet you know how Caesar loved you. It will inflame you. It will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that you are his heirs. For if you should, oh, what would come of it?
Read the will. We'll hear it, Antony. You shall read us the will, Caesar's will.
Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I've o'ershot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men.
The
Will.
will!
Testament.
The testament! There were villains! Murderers! The will! Read the will!
You will compel me then to read the will? Then make a ring about the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend, and will you give me leave?
Yes,
Come down! Descend!
You shall have leave.
A ring. Stand round. Stand from the hearse. Stand from the body.
Room for Antony, most noble Antony.
Nay, not press so upon me. Stand far off.
Hey,
Stand
stand back.
Stand back, room! Stand back!
You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. Look, how in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this, the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as he plucked his steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For when the noble Caesar saw him stab, ingratitude, more strong than traitor's arms, quite vanquished him. Then burst his mighty heart. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen. Then I and you and all of us fell down whilst the bloody treason flourished over us.
Oh, piteous spectacle.
Noble Caesar!
Oh, woeful day. Oh, traitors, villains.
A most bloody sight.
We will be revenged.
Revenge. Seek.
Burn,
Burn.
seek,
Kill.
fight,
Slay.
Let
Let
not
not
a traitor
live.
live.
Stay, countrymen.
Peace there. Hear the noble Antony.
We'll hear him, we'll follow him, we'll die with him.
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, for I have neither wit, nor words, nor worth, action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and then bid them speak for me. Were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny.
We'll mutiny.
We'll burn the house of Brutus.
Away then! Come, seek the conspirators!
Yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak.
Peace
ho!
Oh, hear Antony, most noble Antony.
Why, noble friends, you go to do you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then, you have forgot the will I told you of.
That's true.
Oh,
the will.
The will.
Let's hear the will.
Hear the will.
Here is the will, under Caesar's seal. To every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas.
Most noble Caesar will revenge his death.
Oh, royal Caesar.
Hear me with patience.
Peace
ho!
Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors, and new planted orchards on this side Tiber. He hath left them you, and to your heirs forever, common pleasures to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another?
Never. Never. Away. Away. We'll burn his body in the holy place, and with the brands fire the traitors' houses. Take up the body.
Go fetch fire.
Pluck down benches.
Pluck down forms, windows, anything.
Now let it work. A mischief, thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt.
Stand ho!
Give the word. Ho, and stand.
But now Lucilius, is Cassius near?
He is at hand, and Pandarus is come to do you salutation from his master.
He greets me well. Your master, Pandarus, in his own charge or by ill officers, hath given me some worthy cause to wish things done, undone. But if he had be at hand, I shall be satisfied.
I do not doubt but that my noble master will appear, such as he is, full of regard and honor.
He is not doubted. A word, Lucilius, how he received you. Let me be resolved.
With courtesy and respect enough, but not with such familiar instances, nor with free and friendly confidence, as he hath used of old.
Thou hast described a hot friend cooling. Ever note, Lucilius, when love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an enforced ceremony. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith, but hollow men, like horses hot at hand, make gallant show and promise of their mettle. But when they should endure the bloody spur, they fall their crests, and like deceitful jades, sink in the trial. Comes his army on.
They mean this night in Sardis to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are come with Cassius.
Hark, he has arrived. March gently on to meet him.
Stand ho!
Stand ho, speak the word along.
Stand.
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 Most noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods. Wrong I, mine enemies? And if not so, how should I wrong a brother?
Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do them, you...
Cassius, be content. Speak your griefs softly. You know you well. Or the eyes, both our enemies here, which should perceive nothing but love from us. Let us not wrangle. Bid them move away. And in my tent, Cassius, enlarge your griefs, and I will give you audience.
Pandarus, bid our commanders charge their leads off a little from this ground.
Lucilius, do you the like, and let no man come to our tent till we have done our conference. Let Lucilius and Titanius guard the door.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucilius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sidonians, wherein my letters, praying on his side because I knew the man, were slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
In such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and mart your offices for gold to undeservers.
Aye, an itching palm. You know that you are Brutus that speak this, or by the gods this speech were else your last.
The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement!
Remember March, the Ides of March, remember. Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body did stab and not for justice? What? Shall one of us that struck the foremost man of all this world, but for some supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes and sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog and bay at the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier. I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
You say you're a better soldier. Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and it shall please me well. For mine own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that which I may be sorry for.
You have done that! You should be sorry for. I did send you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was this done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts, dash him to pieces. You did!
I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, and Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not, till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye would never see such faults.
A flatterer's would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius. For Cassius is aweary of the world. Oh, that I could weep my spirit from mine eyes. This is my dagger. And here, my naked breast, within a heart, dearer than Plutus mine, richer than gold. If that thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I, that denied thee gold, will give my heart.
Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will, it shall have scope. Do what you will. Dishonor shall be humor. Cassius, you are yoked with the lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who much enforced shows a hasty spark and straight is cold again.
As Cassius lived, but to be but master to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexed him.
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
Do you confess so much? Give me your hand.
And my heart too. Lucilius, bid the commanders prepare to lodge their companies tonight.
And come yourselves and bring Messala with you immediately to us.
Cassius, I am sick of many griefs.
Of your philosophy you make no use, if you give place to accidental evils.
No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead.
Portia?
She is dead.
How escaped I killing when I crossed you so? How insupportable and touching loss, upon what sickness?
Impatience of my absence, and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong, for with her death, that tidings came. With this, she fell distract, and her attendants absent swallowed fire.
And died so.
Even so.
Are ye immortal gods?
Speak no more of her. Welcome, good Messala. Now, sit we close about this taper here and call in question our necessities. Messala, I have received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi.
Myself have letters of the self-same tenor.
With what addition?
That by proscription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and the Piteous have put to death 100 senators.
Therein our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 70 senators that died, by their prescriptions, Cicero being one.
Cicero won.
Cicero is dead, and by that order of proscription. Had you your letters from your wife, my lord?
No, Messala.
Nor nothing in your letters wit of her?
Nothing, Messala.
That methinks is strange.
I asked you, have you aught of her in yours?
No, my lord.
Now as you are a Roman, tell me true.
Then like a Roman, bear the truth I tell. For certain, she is dead, and by a strange manner.
Why? Farewell, Portia. We must die, Messala. With meditating that she must die once, I have the patience to endure it now.
Even so, great man loses should endure.
I have as much of this in art as you. By my nature, I could not bear it so.
Well, to our work alive. What do you think of March of Philippi presently?
I do not think it good.
Your reason?
This is it. 'Tis better that the enemy seek us. So shall he waste his means, wearying his soldiers, doing himself offense, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness.
Good reasons. Must, of force, give place to better. The people twixt Philippi and this ground do stand but in a forced affection, where they have grudged us contribution. The enemy, marching along by them, shall make a fuller number up. Come on refreshed, new added, and encouraged. From which advantage shall we cut him off? If at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our back.
Then, with your will, go on. We'll along ourselves and meet them at Philippi.
Farewell, good Messala. Noble Cassius. Good night. Good repose. Varus!
Called, my lord?
Pray you, sir, lie in my tent and sleep. It may be I shall raise you by and by on business toward my brother Cassius.
So please you, I will stand and watch your pleasure.
I will not have it so. Lie down, good sir. It may be I shall otherwise bethink me. How ill this taper burns. Who comes here? I think it is a weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. He comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god, some angel, or some devil that makes my blood cold and my hair to stare? Speak to me what thou art.
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee, thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again.
I at Philippi.
Why, I will see thee at Philippi then. Taken heart, thou vanished. Ill spirit, I would hold more talk with thee. Varus, awake!
Oh, my lord?
Didst thou dream, Varus, that thou criedst out so?
My lord, I do not know that I did cry.
Yes, that thou didst. Didst thou see anything?
Nothing, my lord.
Go and commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid him set on his powers the times before, and we will follow.
It shall be done, my lord.
Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would not come down, but keep the hills and upper regions. It proves not so. Their battles are at hand. They mean to warn us at Philippi here, answering before we demand of them.
I am in their bosoms, and I know wherefore they do it. They could be content to visit other places, and come down with fearful bravery, thinking by this face to fasten in our thoughts that they have courage. But 'tis not so. What's this? Prepare you, generals. The enemy comes on in gallant show. Their bloody sign of battle is hung out, and something to be done immediately. Octavius, lead you your battle softly on, upon the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand I, keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me in this exigent?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
They stand and would have parley.
Stand fast, Titanius. We must out and talk.
Mark Antony, shall we give sign of battle?
No, Caesar. We will answer on their charge. Make forth. The generals would have some words.
Stir not until the signal.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words better, as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
In your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live, hail Caesar!"
Antony, the posture of your blows are yet unknown, but for your words, they rob the hyblobees and leave them honeyless.
Not stingless, too.
Oh, yes, and soundless, too. We have stolen in their buzzing. Antony, and very wisely, threat before you sting.
Villains! You did not so when your vile daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar. You showed your teeth like apes, and fawned like hounds, and bowed like bondmen, kissing Caesar's feet, whilst damned Casca, like a cur behind, struck Caesar on the neck. Oh, you flatterers!
Flatterers! Now, Brutus, thank yourself. This tongue had not offended so today, if Cassius might have ruled.
Come, the cause. If arguing makes us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that the sword goes up again? Never, till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged, or till another Caesar have added slaughter to the sword of traitors.
Caesar, thou canst not die by traitors' hands unless thou bringest them with thee.
So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus' sword.
Oh, if thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honorable.
A peevish schoolboy, worthless of such honor, joined with a masker and a reveler.
Old Cassius, still!
Come, Antony, defiance traitors hurl we in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs.
Why now, blow wind, swell billow, and swim bark. The storm is up and all is on the hazard. Messala, this is my birthday, as this very day was Cassius born. Give me thy hand, Messala, and be thou my witness that against my will, as Pompey was, I am compelled to set upon one battle all our liberties. Now, most noble Brutus, the gods today stand friendly that we may, lovers in peace, lead on our days to age. But if we do lose this battle, what are you then determined to do?
Even by the rule of that philosophy by which I did blame Cato for the death which he did give himself.
Then, if we lose this battle, you are contented to be led in triumph throughout the streets of Rome.
No, Cassius, no. Think not, thou noble Roman, that ever Brutus will go bound to Rome. Therefore, everlasting farewell take. Well, Cassius, if we do meet again, why, we shall smile. If not, well then, this parting was well made.
Forever and forever, farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile indeed. If not, 'tis true this parting was well made.
Why then, lead on. Oh, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere to come. But it sufficeth that the day will end, and then the end is known. Come, ho, away! Ride, Messala, ride, and give these bills unto the legions on the other side. Let them set on at once, for I perceive but cold demeanor in Octavius's wing, and sudden push gives them the overthrow. Ride, Messala, let them all come down.
Titinius, look, the villains fly. Myself have to mine own turned enemy. This ensign here of mine was turning back. I slew the coward and did take it from him.
Oh, Cassius, Brutus gave the word too early, who having some advantage on Octavius took it too eagerly. His soldiers fell to spoil, whilst we by Antony are all enclosed.
Fly further off, my lord, fly further off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Fly, therefore, noble Cassius, fly far off.
This hill is far enough. Look, Titinius. Are those my tents where I perceive the fire?
They are, my lord.
Titinius, if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse and hide thy spurs in him, till he have brought thee up to yonder troops and here again, that I may rest assured whether yon troops are friend or enemy.
I will be here again, even with the thought.
Go, Pindarus, get higher up on the hill. My sight was ever thick. Regard Titinius and tell me what thou noticed about the field. This day I breathed first. Time has come round, and where I did begin, there shall I end. My life has run its compass. So what news?
Oh, my lord!
What news?
Titinius is enclosed round about with horsemen that make to him on the spur, yet he spurs on. Now they are almost on him. Now, Titinius, now some light. Oh, he lights too. He's ta'en. And hark, they shout for joy.
Hold no more. How did I am to live so long, to see my best friend taken from my face? Come hither, Sirrah. In Partha did I take thee prisoner. And then I swore thee, saving of thy life, that whatever I bid thou do, thou shouldst attempt it. Come now, keep thine oath. Now be a free man. And with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Stand not to answer. Here, take down the hilts, and when my face is covered as 'tis now, guide the sword. Caesar, thou art revenged, even with the sword that killed thee.
So, I am free, it would not so have been. Just I have done my will. O Cassius, far from this country Pindarus shall run, where never Roman shall take note of him.
It is but change, Titanius, for Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus's power, as Cassius's legions are by Antony.
These tidings will well comfort Cassius.
Where did you leave him?
All disconsolent with Pindarus' bondman on this hill.
Is not that he that lies upon the ground?
He lies not like the living. Oh, my heart.
Is not that he?
No, this was he, Messala. But Cassius is no more. O setting sun, as in thy red race thou dost sink tonight, so in his red blood Cassius' day is set. The son of Rome is set. Our day is gone. Clouds, dews, dangers come, our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success have done this deed.
Mistrust of good success hath done this deed. O hateful error, melancholy's child, why dost thou show to the apt thoughts of men the things that are not? O error soon conceived, thou never canst upon happy birth, but kill'st the mother that endangered thee.
What, Pindarus? Where art thou, Pindarus?
Seek him, Titanius, while I goes to meet the noble Brutus. Thrusting this report into his ears, I may so say, thrusting it for piercing steel, and darts and venom shall be as welcome to the ears of Brutus as the tidings of this sight.
By you, Messala, and I will seek for Pindarus the while. Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? And did they not put on my brow this wreath of victory and bid me give it to thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. Behold thee. Take this garland on thy brow. Thy Brutus bid me give it to thee, and I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace, and see how I regarded Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius' sword, and find Titinius' heart.
Where Messala doth his body lie?
Go, yonder, and Titanius mourning it.
Titinius' face is upward.
He is slain.
Oh, Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. His spirit walks abroad and turns our swords in our own proper entrails.
Brave Titanius, look, whether he hath not crowned dead Cassius.
But yet 2 Romans living such as these, the last of all Romans. Fare thee well. It is impossible that ever Rome should breed thy fellow. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius. Shall find time. Come, therefore, and to Thasos send his body. His funerals shall not be in our camp. Let us discomfort us. Lucilius, come, and come, young Cato. Let us to the field. Labion, Flavius, set our battles on. 'Tis 3 o'clock, and Romans, yet ere night, we shall try fortune in a second fight. Yet, countrymen, oh yet hold up your heads!
What bastard doth not? Who will go with me? I will proclaim my name about the field. I am Marcus Cato, ho! A foe to tyrants and my country's friend. I am the son of Marcus Cato. Ho!
And I am Brutus, Marcus Brutus. Brutus, I, my country's friend. Know me for Brutus.
Oh, young and noble Cato, art thou down? Why, now, thou diest as bravely as Titinius, and they may be honored, being Cato's son.
Yield, or thou diest.
Only I yield to die. There is so much that thou wilt kill me straight. Kill Brutus, and be honored in his death.
We must not. A noble prisoner.
Room, ho! Tell Antony Brutus is ta'en.
I'll tell the news. Here comes the general. Brutus is ta'en. Brutus is ta'en, my lord.
Where is he?
Safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that there is no enemy shall ever take him alive, the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from such a great shame. When you do find him, alive or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself.
This is not Brutus, friend, but I assure you, a prize no less in worth. Keep this man safe, give him all kindness. I had rather have such men my friends than enemies. Go on and see whether Brutus be alive or dead, and bring us word unto Octavius's tent, how everything is chanced.
Come, whole remains of friends. Rest on this rock.
Titilius showed the torchlight. But my lord, he came not back. He is ta'en or slain.
Sit thee down, Cletus. Slaying is the word. It is a deed in fashion. Hark thee, Cletus.
What, I, my lord? No, not all for the world.
Peace then. No words.
I'll rather kill myself.
Mark thee, Dardanius.
Will I do such a deed?
Oh, Dardanius,
Oh, Cletus.
what ill request did Brutus make to thee?
Kill him, Cletus. Look, he meditates.
Now is that noble vessel full of grief, and it runs over even at his eyes.
Come hither, good Volumnius. List a word.
What says my lord?
Why this, Volumnius? The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me several times by night, at Sardis once, and this last night here in the Philippi fields. I know my hour is come.
Not so, my lord.
Nay, I am sure of it. Volumnius. Thou seest this world, Volumnius, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. It is more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Good Volumnius, thou knowest that we two went to school together. Even for that, our love of old, I prithee, hold thou my sword hilts while I run on it.
That's not an office for a friend, my lord.
Fly, fly, my lord. There is no tarrying here.
Farewell to you, and you, Volumnius. Strato, thou hast been here all the while asleep. Farewell to thee too, Strato. Countrymen, my heart doth joy that yet in all my life I found no man but he was true to me. We shall have glory by this losing day more than Octavius and Mark Antony by this vile conquest shall attain unto. Fare ye well at once, for Brutus's tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs on mine eyes, my bones rest, and have labored to attain this hour.
Fly, my lord, fly.
Hence I will follow. I pray thee, Strato, stay with thy lord. Thou art a fellow of good respect. My life had had some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword and turn away thy face, while I do run upon it. Will thou, Strato?
Give me your hand first. Fare you well, my lord.
Farewell, good Strato. Caesar, now be still. I killed not thee with half so good a will.
What man is that?
My master's man. Strato, where is thy master?
Free from the bondage you are in, Messala. The conquerors can but make a fire of him, for Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death.
So Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius's saying true.
All that serve Brutus, I will entertain them. Fellow, wilt thou bestow thy time with me?
Aye, if Messala will prefer me to you.
Do so, good Messala.
How died my master, Strato?
I held the sword, and he did run on it.
Octavius, then take him to follow thee. That did the latest service to my master.
This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only, in a general, honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man.
According to his virtue, let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier, ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away to part the glories of this happy day.